Hey, what is up? So I am back in Alan Wake, and the second expansion for this game came out called The Lake House. So we played through the story. I played through the New Game Plus on my own time. All the additional cutscenes plus the new ending was cool. Played Night Springs, which is episodic and not really part of the Alan Wake story, sort of. It's like its own sort of little thing going on there. And now we got this, which is heavily into the Alan Wake story. And we're gonna play as we're playing as a new character, not like an introduced new character. They're already in the story, but we're gonna play as them. Let's check it out.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. 1970, 76, 78. Last one was in 2010. It's not exactly clockwork, but this town sees way more altered world events than most. We knew it was just a matter of time before the lake acted up again. After the AWE in 2010, the FBC's research department set up a facility, the Lake House, to study the threshold in Cauldron Lake, find better ways to contain the entity inside. Your tax dollars at work. When we detected a spike in paranatural activity at Cauldron Lake, before I even knew you were on this case, Saga, the Lake House was my first stop. I was short-handed, hoped they could spare some help, maybe give us some intel on the situation. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, Saga, I'd have just kept on driving. This is Agent Estevez responding to an AWE alert in the vicinity. I need to speak with the Marmonts. So much for the welcome wagon. You all set up the perimeter. We're on the threshold's doorstep, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yes, ma'am.
Return addendum: The Lake House. Speak to Dr. Marmont, and Dr. Marmont enter the lake house. Alright. Get the controls right. Health pack. Flashlight. Alright. So this seems to be before the events of Alan Wake 2. Because Estevez is telling Saga the story. And I guess why we couldn't enter that area during Alan Wake 2. Because something happened there. Oh, well, let me go out. Okay, I have to go in. How do I run again? My melee. Flashlight. I'm wasting it. Alright, okay, I got it. Let's go.
This shouldn't take long, okay? You see anything, radio me.
Roger that.
The Lake House was run by the research department. Research and investigations don't really see eye to eye. What they call science, I call a violation of Bureau protocol and human decency. Classic interdepartmental drama. Your FBI saga, you know how it goes. Now, in retrospect, My low opinion of the research department may have clouded my judgment.
There it is. I'm kind of in Silent Hill mode still. I kind of want to break these windows. Just double checking the area because you never know what might be a collectible around here. Alright, let's just go in. See what's inside.
Hello? Agent Estevez, Investigations Department.
I'm gonna love being back in this sort of environment because
No one wants to check the individual carrying a firearm into a restricted government facility? No? Okay, well, this is definitely going in the report.
I really love Control. It was awesome.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting day here at the Lake House. As I'm sure you know, I am Dr. Jules Marmont, and this is my wife,
Dr. Diana Marmont.
And together we are the heads of research at this facility.
She doesn't want to be there. Don't even know she wants to be married to him.
We want to thank you all for helping us break new ground in our study of Cauldron Lake.
That's right, Jules. But don't let our exciting work in threshold regulation and dimensional coupling keep you from observing the proper safety protocols.
You said it, Diana. We run a tight ship here at the Lake House. So, always remember the 3 S's. Safety, security, and censorship.
It's a C. It's a C.
Why, that is the joke, Diana.
Well, it's a stupid
Wonderful joke, Jules. We'll see you down there.
The edit. Hey, okay.
Yeah, that seems healthy.
Urgent reminder, Lake Safety Protocols. Please remember that the following recreational activities are forbidden in the waters of Cauldron Lake. These restrictions apply to both civilians and FBC employees. Fishing, redacted. Swimming, boating. Plastic canoes, kayaks, motorized boats, etc. Using the water for redacted purposes. Water skiing, redacted in the water. Paddle birding. What is paddle birding? These activities can result in redacted in an estimated redacted % of cases. If you are unclear about any of the restrictions listed above, please speak with redacted. Security report, local rumors. A recent security operation was performed among the citizens of Bright Falls and Watery. The goal of this operation was to ascertain public knowledge and opinion of the lake house and its operations. The following information was gained through covert listening and informal questioning. The local public appeared to view the area around the lake house with fear. This is, of course, the intended reaction as the Bureau has publicly marked the area as dangerous due to volcanic gases. However, there is a specific rumor among the public regarding a government facility in the woods. run by mad scientists taking people for experimentation. This rumor seems particularly popular among the local youth, and its proximity to the truth is cause for concern. Worst case outcome would be an increase in curiosity or possibly even aggression. It is possible this is even the reason for the lake house security breach back in blank. Action to be taken. Security personnel will continue to monitor youth chatter. If the rumors continue disseminating, a cover story may be required, perhaps even fabricated signage for an American Volcano Commission type institution. So, how are they getting this information from the youths? Are they just like on social media, or are you sending someone covert? Yeah, so I love Control. Absolutely loved it when it came out. Platinumed it twice on PS4 and PS5. Probably like one of my favorite games in that year. In 2019, I think it came out. Yeah, it was awesome. So I just love being back here and there's a bunch of donuts. Ava Ramani to FBC personnel status update. Oldest house to all staff. On-site observation teams report that the oldest house is still under active lockdown. Status of Director Trench, management team, and all other personnel inside the oldest house at the time of the lockdown's initialization remains unknown. Observation teams have detected fluctuations in the redacted field originating from the oldest house as of redacted, increasing in strength as it loops through a specific pattern every redacted hours. These readings are currently being analyzed by research staff in Boston office. Any personnel with information pertaining to this signal should contact them immediately. Sincerely, Ava.
That's handy.
Thank you. So I'm in the ground floor. There's the painting production, holding an observation, page development, and research archives.
An experiment. That bodes well.
The Lake House Daily. Good news. HQ. Why is that good news? HQ still dark. Pie was good. More pie for the rest of us. We have coffee. Deer Fest this week. Bad news. HQ still dark. Nut allergy bad. No Alma beer. It's good. Tried it. The artist is. Someone stole the black whiteboard marker. Oh, that's why they're using red. Okay, I just saw that. All vacation time canceled. Aw, that sucks.
It's locked.
Ramnas Daily, stand up. No doodling. Office of Co-Research.
Dr. Marmont's not here. Nobody is? I'll have to check downstairs.
To my new fellow head of the lake house, love Diana. Isn't that your wife? She just called you a fellow. Okay. On the recommendation of the faculty
You
and
must
by
all be
the,
working on the lower levels.
and the virtue
We
of
need to head down.
I know. Estevez, calm down. The virtue of the authority vested in them, the trustee of Barrows University have conferred on Jules Francois Marmont, Doctor of Applied Science, and is entitled to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. William Devereaux, chairman of the board. Okay, that's them. Happy couple. Just saw a name there. Federal Bureau of Control Special Service Certificate. This exceptional contribution certificate is awarded to Jules Francois Marmont in graceful recognition of his outstanding contributions to the Bureau's scientific endeavors. From Casper Darling. From Dr. Casper Darling, Head of Research, to Dr. Jules Marmont. The senior leadership of the Federal Bureau of Control has determined to appoint Dr. Jules Marmont as Head of Research at the facility at Cauldron Lake, Washington. The appointment will be shared with Diana Marmont, effective upon the facility's completion on July 18th. Zachariah Trent and Casper Darling. Science fact of the day. Though most famous for acting, Hedy Lamarr also invented in her free time. She patented a frequency hopping device for torpedo guidance system at the age of 38. What are you doing with your life?
Changing passwords, huh?
Update to computer password reset policy. Effective September 13, all computer passwords must be reset daily to address security concerns. We are aware this may be an inconvenient change and lead to difficulty remembering your password. We recommend using a permanent set of digits as the beginning of the password, followed by numbers that change daily. Try using significant personal dates, coordinates, etc. Do not use birthdays, the current date, phone numbers, etc. Please also remember that for the time being, passwords are not to exceed 6 digits. Thank you for your compliance. Research profile, subject P. Through extensive testing, the subject has been confirmed to possess an intrinsic paranatural ability that manifests exclusively during the act of painting. The paintings feature scenes or events he would have no knowledge of, even sometimes painting an event before it occurs. This effect has been proven multiple times and has an estimated 40 to 100% success rate. Note the lack of precision in this range is due to the team's inability to prove that a painting's content will not be realized at some point in the eventual future. Researchers asked to reiterate their hesitance to publish any concrete statements surrounding the subject and his abilities at this time, as the nature of the paintings and their paranatural effect have been exceptionally difficult to measure and quantify. Conclusion: the subject is suspected to be a Class II para-utilitarian, though additional testing will be required to confirm this. At this time, his ability is not believed to be a direct threat to himself or others and can be controlled. The nature of his ability is to show current or future events via the art he creates, but the extent of this forecasting cannot be determined by researchers with any high level of precision. Unlike the art created by Alan Wake, there is no evidence the subject's art is directly manipulating reality via the shadow's energy. Replacement keycard request form. Please fill out the fields below before delivering the form of security. A new key card will be issued to you once your request is processed. Name Jules Marmont, Head of Research. The highest one, I forget what it's called. My old car went missing. Indicate here if your card was stolen. How would I know if it's stolen or how would I know if it is stolen or lost? Why do you not put microphones inside to follow them if you are concerned with this? I'm the Head of Research and I expect a new card on my desk by the end of the workday. I mean, instead of a microphone, you could put a chip in it. Like, why would you want a microphone? Alright. I have to figure this out. Is there any dates on here? July 18th. September 14th.
Nope.
Hold on.
That's not right. Damn it.
Am I able to come back later?
Damn it.
I think it's maybe at 38. So let's try it. There we go. Security door lock. Unlock. Cool. Alright. Start from the oldest. Good morning. This is from H. Kingston. A friendly reminder that proposed annual budgets need to be sent out by the end of this month. Every station is being asked to give a thorough breakdown this year in an effort to find areas where spending can be reduced. Should I book a time for us to speak about this and make a plan? All the best. This is responding back. I'm too busy to attend meetings. Just use the budget from last year. But make sure to specify that a specific percentage of the research budget is to go towards Project Arbitus, so certain individuals won't be tempted to slow down their completion by stealing resources. I apologize for the difficulty my wife is presenting, Harry. I believe she is suggesting that I would take her project's budget, an unfair and preposterous accusation, though I am confident you understand that. I'll be happy to meet and discuss the annual budget. It is, of course, the head of research's job to oversee such work. Maybe Diana is no longer up to the task. Sincerely, Jules. Oh boy. Go fuck yourself, Jules. So does next Wednesday work? P. Levine. Dr. Marmont. Project Arbitus has officially requested we return the pages. We aren't using them for any work or Project Romnus, and they are shared research materials, so I can release them back to Arbitus. And B. Lopez. Hello, please remember to lock your computer before leaving your station for any amount of time. Changing your password daily does not improve our facility's security if you leave your computer open. Thank you. Alright. So everything seems to happen. So everything seemed fine on the 13th of September, but the 14th is when everything went to hell and nobody's here. Alright, we unlocked the security door, which I assume is that one.
This should come in handy.
Kitty. Alright, let's go. Guess we'll go to 1.
As soon as I got in that elevator, my bad news detector started going nuts. Estevez to team, something's going on in the lake house. I want all nearby agents to... Oh, shit!
Level 1.
Agent Estevez, what's your status?
Breach detected on sublevel 5.
Oh.
Staff should seek shelter immediately.
We have a situation in the lake house. All agents converge on the facility now.
What the hell? Whoa.
Belay that order. Where's the fucking elevator? Okay. Priority 1, get the lights on. Standing around in the dark near Cauldron Lake is not smart.
This is weird. It's like in some sort of messed up art gallery.
Okay. Power core receiver. Plugging a core in should get the lights on.
Oh. Looks like the Green Goblin. The animated one. Thank you. I hate that sound. It sounds gross and mushy.
That is not a regulation FBC weapon.
Oh, that? Where? I see it. I want that.
Can't open it from the side.
I need level 2 access.
Jules' keycard. Could be useful.
Progress update 6. Unfortunately, Jules' keycard went missing last night. A huge shame. On a totally unrelated note, I now have level 3 clearance card in my office, plus a lot of black rock. Very, very healthy workplace you got going on here. Been grinding the black rock down to a powder and stashing around in case any gets confiscated. Next steps: weapon tests using black rock powder. If successful, maybe send schematics to offsite teams. Could lead to a transfer out of this shithole. Need to think of more applications for black rocks now that I have some. There was a researcher at the OH oldest house who had tons of ideas like this. Wish I could remember their name. Wish I could too. I forget. It's been so long ago since I played the DLC for Control. Oh, I have to carry this?
I wish they'd make these things lighter.
Oh, man.
The way I saw it, there was only one way out. Identify the source of the event and contain or eliminate it. Now, good news, I just had to keep going down. Bad news, the elevator liked to disappear.
Just ignore the noise and keep going. Go to experiment setup sub-level 5.
At least the elevator's back.
There it is. It's just behind that. I'm missing a... Okay. Oh, can I go in here? Yay. Threshold linking experiment progress report by Dr. Jules. The work to create a stable link between our reality and that of the Redacted continues. Progress is good, with all teams reporting high confidence that a successful connection will soon be possible. Recent efforts in utilizing the paintings produced by Subject P to adjust reality in such a way that achieves our goals were unsuccessful. However, this result allowed us to discard that avenue of research and focus solely on a much more viable one. A new hypothesis states that the threshold's energies, and thus its reality-altering effect, are drawn to pieces of art that contain significant level of emotion. This is supported by a clear trend in the data we have gathered over the years. If you can identify and quantify the emotion of an art piece, our work will speed up considerably. Work has already proceeded with an immediate focus on developing devices capable of measuring the level of emotions in any given piece of art. For now, our research will continue to focus solely on the art produced by Subject P. While no piece of his have yielded successful results outside of their assistance in discovering the redacted pages, his proven status as a para-utilitarian makes his work the most suitable research material. Research order. As the Lake House continues to make progress towards its goals, various avenues of research are being pursued. Recently, one such avenue has yielded unexpected results. The research into nursery rhymes, directed by Dr. Marmonts, led by Dr. Campbell, as an art firm, has shown viability in its ability to connect with the Cauldron Lake threshold. As a result, the nursery rhyme findings will now be carried forward by the co-heads of research incorporated into ongoing research across the Lake House, effective immediately. Our research teams will be briefed on how to utilize the effective elements of the nursery rhymes into their own work. Note, Dr. Campbell and his team are being reassigned. They will continue to develop their work on nursery rhymes outside of the Lake House. Any exposure risks related to performing confidential work outside the facility's premises have been acknowledged and accepted by the co-heads of research. So, as Saga, we did the nursery rhymes, and I guess Dr. Campbell is the one we kind of screwed over at the end there when we finished all of them. Locking computers, we saw that one. Pie Day! To celebrate the arrival of fall, I brought a variety of seasonal pies from the local diner you seem to all love so much. The members of Project Ramnus can enjoy them in the lobby near my office. All of the staff should visit the other Dr. Marvel's office to see if she brought pie. She didn't, I bet. Also, despite the ridiculous dramatics of last year, I have purchased the delicious pecan-filled pies. Happy fall! Security reminder. H. Kingston, a gentle reminder that nut allergies are a serious health issue, and making light of them is not appropriate workplace behavior for anyone of seniority level. Bringing nuts to the office is a health risk and should be avoided for everyone's safety. Thank you. This was at 9 a.m. This was at 3:51 p.m. Perry. Do not release any of those pages. Tell Diana and those fools on Project Arbitus that we misplaced them. An unfortunate filing accident. Tell them we are confident that the pages will resurface in 2 or 3 weeks, but we are too busy making progress to look for them right now. Be sure to say that we are making progress just as I wrote above. Regards. Huh. Oh. Intentional staff. There is a significant amount of black rock missing from sub-level 5. I expect there is a misunderstanding and someone has taken it to another floor by mistake. If you did this, respond to this message and we'll fix the problem. Black rock is precious material. We only have so much of it now that with the old house being closed. Casper!
First off, a huge thank you to everyone here. The Lake House has made amazing strides in researching the AWE here at Cauldron Lake. Great work, team. I wanted to come in person so I could check in on the latest work. I won't get in the way. It's not our view, so no reason to be scared. Do you hear that, Drs. Marmont? While I'm here, I want to focus on the relationship between the Shadow and the AWE site below the lake. The theory that the Shadow even originates from the dimension this threshold is tapping into is compelling. Eventually, I want to understand how this dimension manages to convert subjective elements like art into objective reality. What are the constraints of this phenomenon? Can it, say, create altered items or even objects of power simply by manifesting them via a piece of art. These are the things we need to know to accurately classify the shadow. I mean, that name is not very scientific. I mean, I came up with that. Shadow. So, any and all proposals are welcome. Anything testing art's effect on reality by using the shadow's energy is preferred. To find answers, we'll first need a lot of data. No wrong answers. And when I return to the oldest house, I'll take back anything we end up with to run against a classified project called Hedron to build a comparative data set. I wish I could tell you more. It's very, very exciting. Non-physical forces impacting. No, sorry, I really can't. It is. You know what? Maybe some of you can come visit. We'll have to get you clearance, of course, but maybe that can. You know what? I don't want to take the entire day talking. So, the shadow represents a whole new area of research, and I couldn't be more excited to start digging in. It is a great new world, people.
Cool. Thank you, Casper. Save point. Okay, there was something I want to check here. I'm right beside it. Here it is. And there's a switch over here, which I assume moves these around. Okay.
If you can understand me, I am an agent of the Federal
Jesus.
Bureau of... It never fucking works. Pistol's no good.
Flashlight doesn't work either. See ya. Well, let's just get out of here.
What the fuck were those things?
2.
Okay, deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You never really get used to the shit you see in this job, but you can learn techniques to adjust, to function. Take 6 deep breaths, then get to work. Find the source, collapse the threshold.
Please hold. Please hold.
Where am I?
Hold. Please hold.
Is that?
Paintings like it's breathing.
If you can understand me, I'm an agent of the Federal Bureau of Control. I can assist you if you take no hostile action against me or any action that can be perceived as hostile. Do you understand?
That actually work?
So what kind of entity are you? You can speak. That means you probably imprinted on a person or retained some of your former self's information. Previously human, maybe? Okay, I can work with that. I just had an unpleasant encounter with some other painted individuals. Any relation? What does that mean? Okay, hey, calm down! You need to cease all hostility right now. Bad news? That thing is really pissed off. Good news. It didn't try to kill me. Okay, baby steps. Angry living paintings are not typically on the Cauldron Lake bingo card. Something different was happening at the lake house, and I couldn't let it escape. Bright Falls didn't need this particular cherry on its already shitty sundae.
Sublevel 3.
We're sub-level 5. I see. Huh. Wait. 4 is research archives, and 5 is threshold experimentation. Page development. Refinement process, ATD output, and collaboration. The automated typing device, ATD, will produce writing mimicking that of Alan Wake, known per-utilitarian, with the goal of affecting reality with the same consistency as Mr. Wake's writing. So they're using AI. To reach this level of authenticity, each page produced by the ATDs must be evaluated and graded based on its similarities to Wake's original style. The pages will be graded using the following criteria. Comprehensibility. This is the most basic of criteria. The page must use language and develop stories in an understandable, organic way. Style. The page must accurately mimic the typical style of Wake's writing, using pages in the Lake House possession as reference. Tone. The page must accurately mimic the typical tone of Wake's writing, using pages in the Content. The page must accurately mimic once pages are graded, they'll be fed into the algorithm as preferred reference material, thus continuously refining the writing produced by the ATDs until they can produce near identical stories to Alan Wake. Once that is achieved, we'll provide instructions to the ATD on what to write, effectively gaining control of Wake's ability to link with the Shadow's power. That sounds bad. Don't do that. So are these the devices that do the writing? Huh.
Rudolph Lane stood back from the canvas. He didn't recognize the piece. Did he paint this? His mind was foggy, unfocused. He knew the Marmonts were putting something in his food. A man in a white coat came to steer Lane back to his cell. He did not resist. He was too tired. He lay on the bed, but the stench in his cell wouldn't let him sleep. An acid stink, the turpentine, the paint, it was all over him. Years of it, 1,000 paintings, 1,000 more to come. A putrid weight he could never wash away. Cold hate simmered below the mist clogging his thoughts. Hatred for the paint, hatred for the brushes, for the Marmonts, for himself.
WPS, 12 words per sentence, minimum 1 word, average 6.71. Its co-heads, 1 word or 2. Style contains dialogue, clip phrasing, third person, omniscient, broad timeline, story concepts, Marmonts, lake house, conflict, water, dark. This is what Alan just read. Quote unquote Alan.
Diana and Jules Marmont had once been a team. Rising stars in the Bureau, both talented in their own way. Diana innovated and Jules got funding from the bureaucrats. Cooperation led to respect. Connection. Then after a decade of hard work, the happy couple were promoted. Co-heads of research. Their first years at the lake house were good. Challenging, but not insurmountable. Not for them. Gradually, thoughts fell into their heads like drops of dark water. Why does she get all the credit? Why does he get any credit? With that, a crack formed in the lake house. The Marmonts and their work became arrogant, erratic. The crack widened and the water seeped in.
Alright, so yeah, they're taking each page and just grading them. Taking the information down. Character-centric. Lane. Who's Lane? Organizational update. Moving forward, research at the Lake House will be divided into 2 distinct projects. Project X-10032AW, codename Arbus, will focus on studying the writing of Redacted, I guess Wake, with Dr. Diana Marmont serving as project director. Project C-4321RL, codename Romnus, will focus on studying Redacted and his work with Dr. Jules Marmont serving as project director. I'm assuming P, the paintings. Staff will soon be notified regarding the project assignment and any required desk changes. Your patience is requested during this reorganization. This is confidential facility matter and is not to be discussed with external agents or teams. If you have any questions, please contact me directly.
There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content for the experiment. There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content for the experiment. There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here.
Initial findings report. Sorry, Edward Franklin. I'm trying to read this while she's talking. Born in New York, New York. Currently resides in New York, New York. Married to Tamitha Booker. No known children or dependents. No pharmaceutical nor paracriminal affiliation is found.
There's a crack in the lake
Bright
house.
Falls.
The Marmonts
Writer and director of 5 stage plays. Confirmed artist, designation author, playwright. Disclaimer, background investigation performed in a short amount of time per instruction. As a result, the information contained in this report is not comprehensive and possibly erroneous.
Art was not art, just content
Project
of the
Artemis.
experiment.
Arbitus. Tamitha Madison Booker, born in Atlanta, Georgia, currently resides in New York, New York. Married to Edward Franklin Booker, no known children, blah 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 blah.
There's a crack in the lake house.
Author of 3 commercially successful true crime books. First publication was a poetry collection, unsuccessful.
Became trapped.
Confirmed artist, designation author, poet.
Went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content.
Typewriters. Please don't let this be what I think it is. As you know by now, typewriters and Cauldron Lake do not mix. And a room full of them all clacking away? 100% bad news.
Each one writing its own page, its own story, I assume. Typewriter brand investigation. Investigation into the precise brand and model of typewriter used by Alan Wake with the intent to use this particular brand for redacted, and the ATDs continues to be unsuccessful. Sources contacted with discretion. Wake's publishing house. Result, no useful information. Wake's agent refused to discuss client matters. Wake's spouse refused to discuss. Redacted, no useful information. Checked all available online. Nothing there. The relevant team will continue to explore alternative sources of information. The ATDs will continue to be operated with the available typewriter until Wake's preferred brand is known. Theoretically, replicating Alan Wake's style of writing via the same brand of typewriter used by the author should yield optimal results. The project director has indicated that a similar investigation should be launched into the brand of type of ink used in Alan... Jesus. I'm trying to get down every detail. What about the chair Alan was sitting in? How about that? What if that plays a role? Then you're screwed. Need level 2.
March 7th, 2018. Notes regarding Dr. Emil Hartman, founder of the Cauldron Lake Lodge, where he manipulated artists in an attempt to control the power of the shadow.
And we killed him in control.
Through his notes, which were confiscated by the Bureau after his arrest in 2010. Overall, Hartman's work was sloppy. Complete disregard for proper scientific method. But he was bold enough to try something we haven't. Our procedural writing machines are promising, but we could understand the effects of Cauldron Lake's threshold much better by observing live artists in action. Thanks to Hartman, we even have a list of prospects. Next step is to send Dr. Darling a request to bring some into the lake house for analysis.
Research notes, content of Wake manuscript. We begun to find pages from the manuscript very likely written by Alan Wake, paired to utilitarian suspect in past cases involving the Cauldron Lake AWE. Though I do not like to bring myself or my biases into my work, I must do so here to address the matter being examined. As reference for any future readers, I am Dr. Diana Marmont, co-head of research at the Lake House facility. The page we recently found summarizes my life with Jules Marmont, husband and co-researcher. It has turned us into characters for a story, making generalizations and assumptions that I must attempt to evaluate without emotion or prejudice. The accuracy of writing is intriguing. It reports our past in the Bureau, but also details inner thoughts that an outside recorder would have no way of knowing. Jules and I have indeed been having more and more interpersonal conflict this past year. This raises many questions. How does Wake, wherever he is writing this from, get his information, or the page itself, determining these emotions and events? I could not believe the scope of Wake's ability goes so far as to have dictated my entire career at the FPC, and if it did, would it matter? Even if a person knew their life was being driven by an external force, would it change their nature, their behavior, their personality? My disagreements with Jules are not sudden shifts in personality, but rather a growing resentment. I firmly believe that, though I have no evidence to prove it, which brings me to a new research query for our team, what methodology can one use to prove that their actions remind them their love or animosity are theirs to control? Hold on, I just gotta check something back here. I didn't do this.
September 12, 2023. Notes regarding a page of an Alan Wake manuscript I found in the archives. I checked the records, and this page is not in our inventory. I believe it manifested inside the lake house directly. I won't be filing this page. It'll just send Jules into a panic. The page is written in Wake's usual style, so I can't say for certain if it's being literal or figurative when it calls us monsters. But what's interesting is that the page indicates that a painting succeeded in linking Cauldron Lake's threshold with our facility. Writing has always been the clearly superior avenue of research, but I never considered that the writing itself would dictate a different art form as the catalyst for our success. I cannot accept that. I can't allow Jules to stumble his way into success. Not after the years of work I put into this research. I got word yesterday that 2 writers are visiting Bright Falls. I will beat Jules to the finish line. September 12th, 2023.
Okay, September 12th, 2 days before this. What this is now. Ooh. Dead people. Ooh.
Shit.
Yay.
I can never say no to extra firepower.
No doubt. Hold on, let me fix this. Let's do that way. Here we go.
Back where I started.
Oh.
Spatial recurrence. Usually observes the law of 3.
So I have to get through this 2 more times? Same notes and everything? Yeah, okay.
This contrived overlap rebounded on itself, compressing, compounding, reflecting, and refracting. An urban legend and a murder in constant imbalance. Cause and effect hopelessly tangled. Arranged wrong, the dream logic flawed, the feedback loop doubled and redoubled out of control. The pressure kept building, looking for release. This contrived overlap rebounded on itself, compressing, compounding, reflecting, and refracting.
I see them. Okay. Now it's time to get down to business.
Looking for release. This contrived.
The shadow is here. Good thing I brought a flashlight.
Hello, guys. Welcome. Who's first? Yeah, we took a lot of. Alright, where's the guy? I gotta take him out first.
Some staff down there had been corrupted. Shit just kept getting worse.
Like, no wonder they gave me a crap load of bullets before getting to the enemies. I'm assuming it's going to be like this. Just go into a big room full of enemies and just take them out. Checking for any more ammo boxes. Not seeing any more around.
Rudolph Lane stood back from the canvas. He didn't recognize the piece. Did he paint this? His mind was foggy, unfocused. He knew the Marmonts were putting something in it.
Okay, still the same. Thought it would be
Luke
different.
3. Should be the last one.
I keep coming back to this page. The author's clearly awake. It's like he's warning us. But about what? I mean, what does it mean? This page scared Jules away from the work on Wake's writing. A coward can't stand risk. But science is risk. For me, this is proof that we are going in the right direction. I just need Rudolph Lane's paintings to lead to more pages so that hopefully one day we can understand. I keep coming back to this page.
Whoa, okay. This place changed a lot. Whoa, trippy.
What is that?
I've always loved that effect. It's so cool. It looked like a big tablet thing or whatever. This is locked.
Locked. Maybe there's another way in.
How about this way? There we go. Ooh. So does this go over there, or is there one out here that I didn't see? I might not be headed to the right place. I guess I should go here.
Controllable shifting phenomena.
Neat. So I could do that. There's a switch out here I could hit. Turn that on. And there we go. A way out. Oh, the painting.
You again. What happened to you? Did the people here do this to you?
Marmonts! Clogging his head!
Alan Wake's writing is being studied here. Do you know anything about him?
Names don't matter. 1,000 more to come.
They say clear communication is the key to any relationship. You and I have some work to do there. You said Marmonts before. Do they do this? Where are they now?
Misery! Hate!
Tell me where they are. Christ. It's fixated on the Marmonts. What did they do?
Access denied.
Ugh,
Access
This key
denied.
card isn't gonna cut it.
Can't go back to the ground floor. Go back to what?
A threshold is the connection between a foreign reality and our own. Now, they all have their own rules, strange as they are, but the further down I went, the more chaotic this one got. Clearly, this was the Cauldron Lake threshold, but something was wrong. Well, more wrong than usual.
Sublevel 1.
Alright, I'm gonna head in here first. Clear my head. What do we have to do here? I like how she's making notes on the map. Was a flashbang? Where? I didn't even see that. Okay. Go back to 2, I guess? Maybe? Because 2, we just talked to the painting and that was it.
Sublevel 2.
Level-wide lockdown in effect. Please remain calm. Level-wide lockdown in effect. Please remain calm.
Hello. Lift the level-wide lockdown.
Finally, someone who isn't a painting. Hey, hello. Who are you?
Sorry, got a flow going. Can we do this later?
Oh, it's that guy. From the cafe.
No, we cannot. I'm Agent Estevez. I'm with the government and I need your name.
I'm Ed Booker, the playwright. And I'm hitting my stride here, so can you guys stop with all that banging and screaming? It's throwing me off.
Where do you think you are right now?
In an immersive writing workshop.
Well, bad news, it's not a writing workshop. Good news, it's not a writing workshop.
Right. It's a government facility studying the power of creativity. That makes way more sense.
What are you even doing? What are you writing?
Well, after you all abducted me in the woods, I've been working on this manuscript you gave me because you need it for some experiment or something. I kind of forget the premise. But, you know, I've had this block lately, and filling in the gaps of this story has really loosened me up. Copying the style is a nice constraint, but I still have lots of room to play. It's a solid creative exercise.
Look around you. How is this a workshop?
You have to stay in character. I get that. I'm in the
God.
theater business too. And look, the sets, the costumes, all great in that, you know, campy 70s sci-fi kind of way. But you could dial down the role-playing like 15, 20%. Just some professional advice.
Sir, whether you are aware of it or not, there is a situation here. I need you to stay in your cell until I can resolve the matter, okay?
Uh-huh, got it. Hey, no one's been around with food for a while. I could go for some dinner when you have a second. Oh, and can I get my phone back? I want to call my wife. I don't know how Tammy found you guys, but she killed it. 5 stars all around.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
So in Alan Wake, apparently he went missing. I think you read a note somewhere where this guy disappears, and I guess this is where he is. Who's the other writer, though? They said there were 2 writers. I was thinking it was his wife. Darkness, Water, Marmonts, Lakehouse, Conflict. Did anyone explain any of this to him? My guy, you are tightly locked in there. Acquisition team is hereby approved to acquire additional research subjects for ongoing study related to Project Arbitus at the Lake House facility. Prioritize outcomes as ordered below. Both subjects brought to the Lake House for study. Yeah, they're both here. So should she be on the other side? Tamitha Booker, her work is more commercially successful, thus more likely to yield results based on proven cases. Less successful than Tamitha, but theater is more widely recognized as art than true crime novels.
Minority populations, lots of heavy themes and a dark sci-fi wrapper.
Observe the subject at a distance and only move to acquire if opportunity arises. Under no circumstances can this operation draw the attention of local law enforcement. Booker's writing for the first piece of content produced by a subject is really disappointing. Damn. It is not remotely similar in content to the Wake pages we provided as reference. Why is it so focused on my marriage? Why is Jules the protagonist? Why is this set in an actual lakeside cabin? And what is happening at the end? What the hell is in the sky? Anyone brief Booker about the concept he has to write about? The lake house, the shadow, we need him to match Wake's style exactly. It's not going to work if he has no clue what he's writing about. We need to get this sorted. We need progress now. Why isn't he taking this seriously? When I spoke to him, he thought I was an actor. I want him to understand how serious we are. Whatever it takes. Continuing the story from page ID, I guess Alan Wake 02, match the tone, style, and content of 02 as closely as possible. The crack was an emotional one, a line right through their marriage, their foundation, their lake house. These thoughts more flooded Jules' mind These thoughts and more flooded Jules' mind as he stared out through the lakeside cottage's windows. The sun was setting on a stormy day. Rain-heavy clouds hung low, weighed down with the burden of purpose. Diana sat in her favorite deck chair, staring out across the lake's rippling. He watched the breeze catch her acorn hair as if sensing his gaze, she turned her head. Jules looked away, flustered, then annoyed with himself for letting her affect him that way. He grabbed the bottle of red wine, poured himself a generous serving. He kept pouring, his mind distracted by a thought. How did we get here? They had been at the lab, running an experiment. Then they were here. Why? He remembered thinking that a break from the lab would give him some space to reconnect, to mend the crack, but he couldn't remember ever leaving. Wine was flowing over the rim of his cup, though he didn't even notice. He put down the bottle, scanning the lake. A faint shimmer hung in the air on the far side of the lake. Well, like light hitting glass, the sort of thing you only notice if you're looking for it. He felt like he had seen something like this before, but where? Jules! Diana's cry snapped Jules back into the present. She was staring up at the sky in panic. A deep shadow crept across the deck. Jules ran to the door to his wife. Okay. Let me guess who's on the other side. Oh God, no.
I wonder what happened here.
Tamitha, where are you? Lane cell. A section of the cell's southern wall needs to be removed for transport to sub-level 5 for analysis. Urgency high. Tools required. It is not my job to know which tools you use to cut concrete walls. It is your job. Additional details important. The wall must be removed very carefully. The painting on the interior side of the wall must not be damaged. Is that the sort of square shape we saw in the the vision thingy, whatever it's called?
Jules Marmont looked at the painting. He didn't understand it, saw only random whirls of color. Drugging Lane made him more compliant, but his work had turned abstract. Jules needed more art his team could parse, could test, trial and error. These abstract explosions of color complicated the data. His grip tightened around the letter opener in his hand. The piece of art he needed was hidden inside Lane. If Jules could simply cut the painter open and pull the painting out of him, he would. The overhead lights flickered. Jules would make Lane cooperate. No more drugs. Less carrot, more stick. Jules had to go faster. He wouldn't lose to Diana. Nothing else mattered.
Okay, so was this the painter's room? And I thought before that these were fake Alan Wake writings, but they're real because he's reading them, and the audio recording before from Diana. Project Romnus. Rudolph Lane, Subject P. That is him. Has shown a decline in redacted over the past several months. Initially, this redacted presented as an increase in resistance, frequently declining requests to work. However, given time and pressure, subject would always relent. Subject's attitude toward art has also undergone a change recently. He is disheartened. He is disinterested in his work, quickly becoming frustrated and sometimes even damaging or destroying the piece before it is completed. In the past few months, his work has become much more abstract, no longer showing true-to-life subjects or landscapes, but rather conceptual art that is much harder to define or categorize. Whether this sudden interest in abstraction was a form of rebellion, a consequence of growing, redacted, or a source of genuine artistic interest is unknown. Current situation: as of yesterday, subject refuses to touch his supplies. He claims he will not paint anymore and he wishes to leave. The subject's refusal has effectively halted all research. While the team can continue to run tests on the backlog of paintings, they estimate that there is little new information to gain. The subject must continue to paint if work is to proceed. However, the team is concerned that convincing the subject with force or coercion may only entrench him to further his position. Dr. Jules Marmont, co-head of research and project lead, has suggested that a high dose of redacted be introduced into the subject's food to cure his blank. If the subject's attitude does not improve, then low doses of blank will be introduced in order to improve his compliance.
I can't paint anymore. I know you want me to paint, but I can't. I'm empty.
Rudolph, no. You love to paint. And you are such a talent. This is just the classic artist slump.
No. No, I hate it. It's just taking from me now. When can I leave? You said you'd let me leave.
Ah, Rudolph, but you volunteered to come, remember? We are helping you, like Dr. Hartman did. Perhaps you need to see our doctor? I can arrange that.
No. No, that's... I am feeling better. Much better. I will paint.
Ah, this is wonderful to hear, Rudolph. I knew you would come back to your old self.
How old is this guy, Rudolph? He seems kind of like in his 50s or 60s, something like that. Just the way he sounds. Or are they just tired him out that much where he's just sounding like that?
Won't open while the floor's on lockdown.
I guess once I go off lockdown, all these doors are going to open, right?
Shaded. Hope that glass is thick.
Level 2.
How many paintings did they have this guy make?
From painting session on redacted. Black circular shape among yellow lines. An uneven circle painted in dark black in the foreground with jagged yellow-brown mustard lines between it. Lines sometimes overlap with each other and or bleed into the black circle. In the next painting, lone tree at night, a dark green tree, pine, standing in a dark landscape, presumably night. Empty road and forest, a dark gray streak across a dark green landscape, presumably a forest at night. The gray streak is likely to be a road due to its location, color, and the way its width reduces in line within the perspective. A small white shape in the road could be a page of writing by Alan Wake. Relevant teams have been informed and are searching for this site now to attempt page retrieval. Yellow crescent shape on black canvas, a curved yellow shape and roughly crescent shape painted onto an otherwise empty canvas, possibly a crescent moon or banana, unfinished piece.
access card. Sorry, but I
Oh.
need this.
Hello. Who's that? Oh god. Alright, that was a good scare. I made the reservation for our anniversary, which I certainly never forget was a week from this Friday. Let's take separate cars from the office. Can't have bosses seeing us sleep together. Now that those hypocrites have banned inter-office relationships. Have a good day. This was on the 14th. I just found out what happened to Trisha. Jules fucking fired her. I knew it. She was way too vocal in last week's all-hands meeting. She had valid concerns. The man is a tyrant. Speaking up about safety is no reason to fire someone. Can you believe this new password policy? What security concerns are they even talking about? We're a fenced-off government bunker in the middle of nowhere. I think they're getting paranoid. Anyway, I set the security's terminal. New password like the memo suggested. Our anniversary is the base numbers. Then Black Void. Yeah, the Marms are losing it. Big surprise. I bet Diana said Jules' background to a big old turd or something. Once again, making their shitty marriage everyone else's problem. The password you said didn't work. Black Void is 44, right? From the list of Lane's paintings. I need to get in, or this is going to be a total waste of a Wednesday. 44 is right. Yeah, so I guess you're telling me you don't know when our anniversary is? Well, good luck with that. Today's password is the date of our special unforgettable anniversary plus brown shape with horns. Love you. I maintain that seeing a movie together does not begin a relationship. Ooh, okay, hold on. 12 departments update to computer password release policy. I think we read this. Yeah. Hold on. Need to read that note again. It was a week from this Friday. So that'd be 23rd, right? I'm right? So 44, 10, 23. 9, 2, 3.
That's not right.
A week from this Friday. Oh, brown shape with horns. Which one was that? $25, okay. So it should be 9, 23, 25.
That's not right.
Damn it. Because Black Vote is 44. Or 45. Brown shape with horns, 25, yeah. Oh, or is it just... Sorry, 9, 23... 25?
Nope.
You know what? I'm dumb. I wasn't reading the calendar, right? So, 9, 22, 25. There we go.
There.
That is not a normal calendar.
Lockdown lifted. You are now safe to resume working.
Sure. Attention all staff, there's a significant amount of blood.
Come in. Facility. Sub-level 1. You copy?
No. Turn back. Area is extremely hostile. Fucking radios. They're on floor 1. I'll need help.
Found. We already read that yesterday. Hello, please remember to lock your computer before leaving your station in any amount of time. Changing your password. Blah 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 blah. T. Howard. Hello, Mr. Kingston. I'm writing because I have serious concerns about the safety protocols being disregarded across the facility. I've collected a list of violations that I personally observed. I can send this to you. My opinion on the matter is that both Dr. Marmonts are driving this facility staff into progressively more reckless behavior. Hello, Ms. Howard. Thank you for sharing your opinion. All facility operations and safety measures are under the purview of the heads of research. If you have a complaint, please follow directly to them or contact the Bureau's acting management team in Dallas. I thought we reported to the acting management team in Kansas. I've reached out to them about this issue multiple times and got no response. Even if they did respond, we all know that they don't have they have the staff to investigate every internal issue after all this house went into lockdown. I believe the Marmonts are knowingly using the state of chaos to their advantage. Our treatment of research subject is a clear violation of the Ash Act. These are punishable offenses. If you don't open an internal investigation, then I will resign. Huh, okay. Oh. Look at this calendar. It ain't right. I don't like it. I thought this was Friday. But this was... I really gotta be thorough and investigate more. Alright. Now I gotta deal with all this. Oh, jeez. Ow. Damn it. I got trapped. Ow. Okay. That was a lot. And okay, we're set. ADS progress review. Too much overlap between tone and style. Word choice good but incomprehensible. Dark, 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 trees, pond, pond, pond. Scream, scream, breathing, breathing, lake, lake, lake. F. I think that's all F. Who gave it a D? Repetition issue was solved with sufficient rounds of refinement. What does it say? Dark, screamed the darkness, a dark reminder of the dark's inner darkness, a well of darkness, a vortex, like black paint, darker and darker and darker, so dark the darkness could hardly see. A dark figure emerged from the darkness, facing the darkness with dark intent. A dark knife glinted in the dark, darkly. Dark like the dark eye of a dark raven, dark feathers rustling in the dark night sky. No moon, the moon had been eaten by the dark. The dark drank it. And the sun, a dark moon rose over the dark sun that had set into the darkest darkness. The darkness darkened darkly, darkening the dark until it dimly darkened even the darkest dark. Prioritize over comprehensibility. Style and tone, negative progress. The wrought snail beam, the wooden grain bent from the owl. Egg mail. 4 forms in the glass eye and melt. A cracked page booked through from down and bark. I grow and longer with the lower dark sea. No one found egg mail heaven. Pour during out he chin. When all screaming blue and axe vermilion, a day is around. Flat across evening, the water murmurs in light bulb trees round the cat. The night glares in all streets, the coffee deers run. Fear drinks locks by wily cottages and black fires in the same mirrors. A mist heavies in panic mountain. You know that? Like, this whole page reads like how I would read a normal page. Individual element are strong, but ATDs lacking awareness and intention is a blocker. Need more rake reference material. Input in the non-wake reference material source human. Okay. The dark woods rotted darkly. Flashlight peered into the deep darkness. The dark shivered. Flashlight scowled. A woodsman came with an axe. The woodsman's teeth screamed. Flashlight screamed too and was cut in half. Blood mixed with darkness. A dark blend. Pistol looked at Flashlight in shock. There was nowhere to run. He realized, but he ran anyway. He ran to the deep dark of the woods. The woodsman rattled behind them, bouncing through trees. Pistol knew it and had nowhere to run. Pistol drew his pistol and turned to his death. The woodsman emerged and Pistol opened fire. Pistol's pistol flashed in the dark night. Once, twice, thrice, the woodsman fell with a clatter. Pistol breathed in and out, in and out. Pistol looked at each tree, in and out. He was safe. Pistol grabbed the woodsman's axe and plunged it into his pistol to charge it. He went to check on Flashlight. Pistol checked each half of Flashlight. She was dead, and he knew it. Flashlight, no! Pistol screamed at the trees. The trees screamed back. Alright, that one's kind of sad. And the whole time I pictured, like, cartoony gun with, like, eyes on it and everything. Same with the flashlight.
Avenue for further research. When we think of art successfully affecting reality, we always think of Alan Wake and his writing. This could be due to recency bias or simply the amount of recorded evidence skewing our opinion. But also, I wonder if writing's very nature is an advantage. Text can describe events in such explicit detail. The story gives the shadow a blueprint, a map of what to make real. But not all art is like this. Music, sculpture, dance, cuisine. In our case, a painting. When the source material is open to interpretation, how will the shadow choose to interpret it? I think Diana will find the question very interesting. Most likely, she already has an answer. That's why I love her.
Hey guys. Oh, you're the fast one. Where are you? Dude, stop running. Ah! Man, I got enough to deal with. Alright, I'm going out here. Come to me. Readings report. Reading collected over the last 48 hours show a rising increase in activity stemming from the Cauldron Lake threshold, likely indicating an imminent AWE scenario. The highest recorded reading exceeded the safety limit, necessitating a general alert and requesting assistance from the assigned AWE response team. However, no alert or contact with external teams has been made per the recent amendments to this procedure. As specified, the monitoring team will take no action until sign-off from either Dr. Marmont or the other has been received. Considering the rate of escalation that recent data indicates, the monitoring team strongly recommends that the AWE response team be contacted immediately. Harris. Okay, dude, did you hear any of that? Still writing. Didn't hear any of the gunshots. Okay. Wish I was that dedicated to something that would provide more use to society. Team notice. As you may know, the valued member of our team was recently re-signed off of Project Arbutus. Carla Livingston's design and engineering expertise were a key part of the creation of the ATDs. Their contributions to the project cannot be overstated. The project team should rest assured that their reassignment was an error that should be corrected soon. Our project director, Dr. Diana Marmont, would like to remind all team members that any directives or assignments from Dr. Jules Marmont have no bearing on Arbutus staff and should be ignored. Thank you for your attention. Oh god. Now those were precision shots. Probably the best I've had so far. Rudolph Lane. In 2010, Lane was inadvertently involved in AWE 35 while residing at the Cauldron Lake Lodge, where he lived under the care of Dr. Emil Hartman. Ah, so was he in the actual game? I can't remember him. I don't remember if we met him. It was a while ago. Lane was seriously injured during the AWE. He received medical care in Seattle for 2 months, during which time he was questioned and cleared by FBC staff. After the Cauldron Lake Lodge was seized and closed by the FBC, Lane moved to Watery, where he currently resides. Recent surveillance confirmed he has no known personal relationships or affiliation with paranatural groups. As requested, the observation team has confirmed that Lane continues to paint as of the date of this report. Okay, so he was in the original Alan Wake game. I guess he was in the lodge. I guess we saw him there somewhere. There's something I missed here. There's that. Point of interest. What is that? Oh. 0% effort today.
My team was on sublevel 1. I knew they were in danger.
I want to go here first. Some stuff I may have to get.
Sublevel 3.
Oh god.
Water dripped from the ceiling as Diana stared at the folders stacked on her workstation. Each one was a branch of research. Drip. Some were thin, some thick. They represented years of her life, her work, Dissecting the act of creation and examining the bloody pieces. Bringing in live subjects had been her idea. Trip. Bureau leadership denied their request. But after HQ went into lockdown, she took advantage of the chaos and got her artists. Jules had whined about the optics. Diana ignored him. Now in her office below the waterline of Cauldron Lake, she considered how to proceed. Jules was convinced the page they had found would come true. It promised disaster. A situation out of control. Impossible. Diana was always in control. Drip. Drip. She needed answers. She needed to quantify, to define, to control.
Jules' team has found new pages written by Wake. You must have gotten Rudolph Lane painting again. His bullshit pedestrian methodology cannot produce results before mine. I have to go faster, no matter the cost. We're still behind our projections. The more the machines can produce, the closer we can calibrate them to Wake's style. But proper calibration takes a lot of raw material, and production is slow. No. We're changing directions. The hypothesis remains unchanged. Imitating Wake's writing style will allow us to generate art capable of linking with the threshold. Our live subject should match Wake's style much faster. People can be calibrated just like a machine. You simply have to push the right buttons.
To use art with the power of the shadow, we must first define art. Thesis. Does a critic define what is art? Where do we find critics? Kidnap, lure, and critics? Or the audience? Are we the audience? Must we like the art? What is the role of an artist? Who's an artist? If you believe you are an artist, are you one? Do you need to be good? Does quality matter? Define an artist. A drug-using bum. Often wears a turtleneck and drinks red wine. Left-wing political views, danger. If left-wing political is made real by the shadow. Any right-wing artists? Not for abstract art or poems. Oh, it's going down. Who's that? Hey! My team!
Jules Marmont killed my team. He was taken by the Shadow. I'm sorry. I should get that gun while I'm up here.
I mean, that name is not very scientific. I mean, who came up with that? Shadow.
Comes to my lab and treats me like some kind of assistant. Un putain d'assistant? Moi? I run the lake house. This is my facility. Mine! You cannot just walk in here for 1 week, make some speeches, and then fly back to New York. Espèce de crétin! Prétentieux! The Jack Essex is a fucking rock star!
Kind of is.
And he made fun of the name.
Shadow.
Oh, the Shadow. The Shadow is good. It's evocative. He's just a jealous, spoiled little child. And I will make it so everyone can see this. I will make it so no one even remembers his name! Tous ces imbéciles là, hein? They all think I am a pencil pusher. They think I do not have the mind for such work. Eh bien, ils verront. Ils verront! I will take what they think is possible. But I will break it.
What is this? Hold on. Black round. Oh, it's the black rock gun. Neat. Hold on. Let me just read this stuff before I grab it. Progress update 5. Got the firing mechanism working. It's throwing the test projectiles a good distance. Turned out pretty nicely. The fittings between the grenade launcher and the custom components are a bit loose. No proper lathe here, but at least it works. Now I need some actual black rock for the tests. I know there's some on sub-level 5, but the acting inventory supervisor doesn't get access to that floor. O21219. Okay. Hello, to celebrate the arrival of fall, I brought a variety of, this was the pies, nut allergies, missing black rock, reassignment. Hello Carla, I've decided to reassign you from Project Romnus to Inventory Management. Your title will be changed from Senior Researcher to Acting Inventory Supervisor, effective immediately. Damn. You may find this change sudden, but I have no doubt someone with a nut allergy like yourself would prefer to work alone and... Yo, just cause she has a nut allergy? Something she can't control? Damn. He is an asshole. Jesus. Prefer to work alone in an inventory booth than out in the open where any dangerous pies may be waiting to hurt you. Perhaps some hard work will keep you from making any more unfounded HR complaints. Damn. Freaking demoted her because she could die from eating a nut. Well, go her. She did this.
Okay.
Level 3
This should get me
keycard.
down to sub-level 5. And this should get me past any other problems.
Charge it by holding R. Charge shots go farther and deal more damage on impact. Okay.
Bingo. That keycard's gonna get me to sub-level 5.
I guess that's why she stole the keycard. Okay. Alright, who ready?
Finally! Something works on these bastards!
Nice. That was lovely. I enjoyed that a lot. I don't have to fight all of them. Oh, damn it. Ah. Let's go level 2 first.
The Shadow had changed Jules Marmont into a hostile, paranatural entity. That made everything simpler. No arrest, no paperwork. I could put him down like the monster he was.
Sublevel 2.
Lane was found dead in his cell this morning. It's an unfortunate setback. But when a door is closed, a window is opened. I believe that's the saying. Lane may be gone, but he left us with a goodbye present. A final piece of art. This piece is different. It's raw emotion, pure truth. He put everything he had into this one. Literally. Every reading we take is off the charts. This is what we have been waiting for. It is It is the key. I will achieve what no one has before me. Not darling, that arrogant shit. Not my selfish harpy or the wife.
So, we have a painter and a painting that can talk. Clearly connected. But Lane was dead before any of this even happened.
I never needed any of them. The fools will finally see me for the genius I am.
Oh god. That's always fun. Dr. Jules Marmont, Head of Research, Project Romna Staff, Subject Project Arbitus. As the Head of Research of the Lake House, it is important that I am informed of all proceedings at this facility. Since the other Dr. Marmont is failing to provide me with details about her team's progress, I ask that you all seek information from members of her team. Anyone who comes to me with details on Project Arbitus' current progress will be rewarded. I'm assuming the painting we're talking to is the last painting that Lane did. Still good in there? Great. Let's go to the sublevels. Let's do 4 first.
Mirror, please hold.
This is not level 4. The Marmonts were holding a painter here. Rudolph Lane. Does that ring a bell?
The shame of a man!
I think you are, or were, Rudolph Lane.
Himself! A self-portrait! Make them see!
Look, I might be able to help you. But I need information, cooperation.
No push! Just himself!
Rudolph Lane was dying. Both murderer and victim. Red hues ran down his hands. Was it scarlet or cadmium? Too vivid to be maroon. Names don't matter, he decided. Color was pure. Inspiring. For the first time in years, he wanted to paint. A self-portrait. To say goodbye. No. To make them remember. To make them see what they did. He slapped his hands against the wall to steady himself. He began from there, No brush, just himself. The strokes were crude, violent. The pain, misery, and hate he'd endured there. The fire in his eyes and hands and bones all spread into the shape of a man. It was quick. Natural. Like a heart attack. He slumped down to the floor, smiling at the anger he left smeared across the wall.
Sounds messy and gross. Ew. And number 5.
Sublevel 4.
Huh?
Gotta find that elevator.
Okay. Whoa.
Oh, nice office.
Okay. It's just another locker door.
Come on.
Oh boy. Big archives. Hello, dear. I tried to heal. So this is why it's all blank, because she says here shifting geometry bullshit. So I guess this can move. The archives can move every which way. Oh, come on, I dodged that. Just one? If it's just one, I'll take it out.
Diana sat in her office. A weak desk light kept the darkness around her at bay. The silence of the archive suited her. She scowled at a series of graphs when the room turned red. Alarms blared. Breach detected. Then the walls of the archives rumbled. A tremor in the bones of the facility. One by one, the red lights went dark as a wave of nothing poured in from all sides. Diana stood, but there was nowhere to run. The sheer depth of the darkness terrified her. She realized they had done this. Her and Jules. Their ambition. Their hatred. Her desk lamp flickered. In the brief moment before it all went dark, she thought of Jules' smile.
I guess there was some love there. Not a lot, but some.
Darkness opened up.
Threshold study. Progress in the Lake House Directive to understand and suppress the Cauldron Lake threshold has improved this year. Research in the areas of threshold energy detection and measurement have made great strides, allowing us to work with the Investigations Department in the construction of an early warning system near the shore of Cauldron Lake. Exploring the relationship between the shadow and sources of light continues to be difficult without active threshold manifestations to test against. Additional means of containment and offensive measures against the shadow have similarly been difficult to develop without an active AWE, though theoretical research continues. Research into threshold suppression technique is ongoing, with no clear determination regarding the visibility possible. The viability possible at this time. The team has been testing counter-frequency projection in the vicinity of Cauldron Lake, with all findings being sent to Dr. Darling as requested. In summary, 2017 has been a successful year with further promising breakthroughs and predicted for 2018. Research mandate. Before Dr. Darling was lost in the lockdown of the oldest house, he tasked the Lake House with discovering the nature of the shadow and its ability to convert art into reality. During our diligent research in this phenomena, it has become clear that Darling was not dreaming big enough, which leads us to the new goal of the Lake House and his talented staff to create a stable connection between Cauldron Lake Threshold and our own dimension. Threshold traversal has only ever been possible inside the oldest house and occasionally during altered world events. Though this is often an involuntary process, the shadow's known attraction to art provides us the perfect opportunity to create the world's first controlled bridge between dimensions that can be safely traversed in either direction. The laboratory will be built on 705, where experimentation related to linking with the threshold will be performed. This location will take full advantage of our proximity to Cauldron Lake. In this laboratory, we will simultaneously develop machinery that can connect with the AWE site in the lake and use art as the focal point to create the bridge. Precise methods are not yet to be determined, though teams will soon be formed to explore processes involving art as a dimensional anchor, reality manipulation via art, and machine-assisted coupling. 2016, Project Arbutus, the definition of art, a study. To truly comprehend the threshold within Cauldron Lake, we must first understand its attraction to art. However, even the definition of art is varied as the range of crafts that fall under the name. To that end, we must open a track of research dedicated to finding and quantifying art. Oh, that's me. That's Estevez, isn't it? To that end, we must open a track of research dedicated to defining and quantifying art, ultimately rendering the concept into a unit of measurement. To begin, let's not try to understand humanity's definition of art, but rather Cauldron Lake's preferences. Past cases of Cauldron Lake's threshold affecting reality have centered on writing Wake 2010. Cinematography is also suspected, though not directly confirmed. Zane 1970. What about other mediums? We will need to test the viability of painting, poetry, music, photography, sculpting, dance, and so on. Not to mention the myriad of genres or methods within each medium. And what about crafts outside the most common artistic expressions? Does any act of creation on a high level of expertise merit the title of art? Baking, woodworking, etc.? What about non-physical mediums? Why is music an art and philosophy is not? Does something become art due to its medium, its quality, or perhaps simply through the intent of expression? Or an equation made up of all three? What would be the order of importance? What thresholds must each factor reach for the equation to succeed? Clearly there is much to determine. We must begin with developing a methodology using a vast range of arts and general creative endeavors, both physical and mental, then find a way to test their potential connection to Cauldron Lake's threshold. Cauldron Lake is an enigma with many layers to pull away if we are to understand it and ultimately bring it under control. The work will take years. Follow-up report. On the morning of Blank, the musician held at the lake house for research purposes was discovered missing from her cell. Security footage of the cell from the night before was damaged by electrical interference of an undermined nature. Redacted, known professionally as Redacted, had produced a song called 60 Breaths. During her time at Lake House, that was considered a very promising as research material by Dr. Marmonts. Somehow used her song to orchestrate her escape. Efforts to find Redacted were brief, with any wider search considered an unacceptable risk to the Lake House mandate of confidentiality. An investigation is currently ongoing as to whether any staff at the Lake House were involved in the disappearance of Redacted. An investigation is currently ongoing as to whether the subject used the song they created as a Redacted means of escape. All materials related to and work produced by Redacted will be stored in the archive for future reference. D. Online checks for the public reappearance of Redacted are to be performed weekly. Known web addresses associated with Redacted in the past, known addresses with para-utilitarian AEW activity, is houseofdreams.blogspot.com, sirensociety.io. What if those are actual websites?
The lake house was underwater. The Marmonts' ambitions had finally been realized. Jules had dangled the painting like a lure and hooked an ocean. Their machines couldn't hold it. A fault in the system. The water rushed in, filled it until it was ready to burst. All their successes and failures had led them here. The work had made them into monsters. But the lake house was still theirs. It always would be. They could feel an outsider trespassing in their labs. "I know you're here," they called out to the dark. They hunted floor by floor. They wouldn't let the intruders stop their progress. This was their home, their beloved tomb beneath the waves. The lake house was underwater.
Diana, I just received a letter from Darling about a request you made to bring in live subjects. What were you thinking? Do you know how that looks? This was 5 years ago. What did he say? Was it approved? No, he refused. You know protocol does not allow this sort of thing, and he says he will be making a trip to the lake house to check in on us. Soon, like we are children. This is very bad for our reputation, Diana. Please, if you have an idea like this, come to me first. Diana, considering the details of a new page we have found, I believe we need to abandon the research into Alan Wake's writing. We must not endanger our staff. Regards. Oh, Jules wanted to stop. Don't pretend like you were worried about them, Jules. You're just looking out for your own ass. The fact that the pages are detailing future events means they are connected. They are the correct method. We have to learn how to harness their power and dictate events to meet our goals. Not Wakes, whatever those may be. The ATDs are producing better and better results. Yeah, a lot of darkness. We just need to keep doing the work. No, Diane, I'm looking at the page right now. Constant imbalance, out of control, a crack in the lake house. If we continue with this research, we will lose our facility, perhaps more than that. What is the point of succeeding if we are dead? I'm the head of research here, and I forbid you from proceeding. You can't forbid anything. You are not going to keep me from the most important work of my life. You are too much of a coward to keep pushing ahead, then I'll finish what we set out to do here, alone. We have plenty of ongoing lines of research. I suggest you pick one and leave Wake's writing to me. You always needed me more than I needed you. Official complaint. Hello, Dr. Marmont. I received a formal complaint about Jules' behavior. You claim he is maliciously keeping research material away from your team, but he says they have simply misplaced. I understand you are frustrated, but I recommend giving his team a week or so to find the pages to return them to your team. If this issue persists at the point, then let's discuss your desire to escalate the issue. Does that sound agreeable?
Something isn't right. It might be best to fill the test. Deep press. 60.
September 13th, 2023. Notes regarding the concept of the tortured artist. A romanticized image of the sensitive artistic temperament, yes. But there may be truth in the cliche. It's no secret Rudolph Lane has been unhappy here for years. But the aggregate data shows his art's viability score trending upward over time. If Jules hadn't neglected to hold regular psychological exams, then we could have quantified the subject's emotional state, creating a sort of distress rating to compare against the art score. I'll make this a sub-goal of my study of Edward Booker. Once we set the variables and establish a control reading of his art and mental state, then we can begin inducing negative emotion. Limited food and water, perhaps. An increasingly tight living space. This is how Jules lost his subject, though. Need to be careful not to leave any sharp objects in Booker's cell.
Experiment tomorrow. I can't find the details anywhere. That bastard is hiding them. All those years, he steals credit for my ideas and my work, and now he's scared of being plagiarized? Oh, that is really fucking rich, Jules. Oh, and he's reportedly misplaced the manuscript pages I need for my work. Suddenly, the exact pages that I need to reference have just vanished. He is actively impeding critical bureau research. I mean, if he can do that, then what is stopping me from going down to that lab? And I don't know, just inverting the amplifiers or misaligning the receivers or both? It's the same thing in principle. He booked the lab. Some big experiment tomorrow. I can't find the details anywhere.
This doesn't look like Kane's style.
Bastard is hiding them.
A different artist.
All those years, he steals credit for my ideas and my work, and now he's scared of being plagiarized? Oh, that is really fucking rich, Jules. Oh, and he's reportedly misplaced the manuscript pages I need for my work. Suddenly, the exact pages that I need to reference have just vanished. He is actively impeding critical bureau research. I mean, if he can do that, then what is stopping me from going down to that lab? And I don't know, just inverting the amplifiers or misaligning the receivers or both? It's the same thing in principle. He booked the lab. Some big experiment tomorrow. I can't find the details anywhere. That bastard is hiding them. All those years, he steals credit for my ideas and my work, and now he's scared of being plagiarized? Oh, that is really fucking rich, Jules. At least the manuscript pages I need for my work. Suddenly, the exact pages that I need just vanished. He is actively impeding critical bureau
A
research.
light switch cord.
Oh.
I mean, if he can do that, then what is stopping me from going down to that lab? And I don't know, just inverting the amplifiers or misaligning the receivers or
Quick
both?
lesson on light switch cords.
It's
If
the
you find
same
one,
thing in
pull it
principle.
3 times.
This brings back memories. And boop. Oh, are we in the motel?
Ocean View Motel is a dimensional intersection. The doors from the lobby can lead anywhere, but I didn't end up in the lobby this time, which was definitely unusual.
Where are we exactly? Wait. Yo, are we in the oldest house? Are we home?
Panopticon.
We're home.
But the Panopticon is at
Yeah.
headquarters. Yeah.
Oh shit. Jesse's brother. 36.
I'm Agent Estevez, Federal Bureau of Control. Identify yourself.
It's quiet.
Who are you?
It's been a long time since I've seen anyone.
There's a sign over there for the Panopticon. The Panopticon's only in New York, in HQ. Is this the oldest house?
I think that's where I am.
So you are inside the oldest house. Is anyone else alive?
I can't.
It's a waste of time. This is an FBC containment unit. Why is the Bureau detaining you?
I'm where I belong.
Everyone I meet here is either a painting or a paracriminal. Hey, this is important. FBC headquarters went dark 4 years ago. What exactly happened in there?
We were attacked. No, not again. Not yet. No.
Hey, stay with me. Stay with me.
Okay.
What attacked the oldest house? I need to know.
Something's changing. Outside. Can you feel it? I can hear it. It's getting worse. You can't stay, can you?
Hold on. I need to know if I can...
Tell Jesse I tried. I really did.
The lab. Some big experiment tomorrow. I can't find the details anywhere. That bastard is hiding them. All those years, he steals credit from my ideas and my work, and now he's scared of being plagiarized? Oh, that is really fucking rich.
I really hope that was like a sneak peek, a little glimpse of what Control 2 is going to be. It showed like New York, but messed up. That'd be cool if we were like in a city area in Control, flying around everywhere. Alright, we're done here. Level 5. Level 5 is not even mapped out yet.
Oh, Jesus. 1, 2, 3.
Sublevel 5.
6. Here we are.
Hell. The Marmonts had opened the door into Cauldron Lake's threshold. It was forced. It was unstable. Shutting the experiment down was the only option.
Oh, damn. Diana? Hello. Ooh. That's one way to remove the smile. Yeesh. Oh god. His head's just dented in. I think I saw an eyeball.
Typical fucking Marmonts.
Oh god. Ah, okay. Just doing this as a just in case. Thank you.
The threshold is tearing itself apart. I need to shut this down. I know what the Marmonts did to Rudolph Lane. I will do whatever I can to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again.
The putrid weight he could never wash away!
The Marmonts are dead. I don't know if that's any sort of consolation, but it's done.
The pain, it was all over him!
Look, I'm sorry. I know you didn't make a choice here. It's not fair, but I have to shut this threshold down before it fractures.
I tried. Now what?
Agent Estevez stood in the forest just outside of Bright Falls.
Wake.
She watched her team detain Alan Wake and Ilmo Koska, stuffing them into black SUVs. She realized this was the moment Wake had been writing in the vision she had seen. The story was coming true. She pushed the thought out of her head. It had been a good tip, a way to find Wake. Nothing more.
Alan Wake!
What's up, dude?
After the threshold event collapsed, I was back in
so
Cauldron
confused.
Lake. But for a moment, I was somewhere else. I saw Alan Wake there. He was writing about me finding him in Bright Falls, in the woods. It was a good tip. I called the surviving members of my team, and I told them to meet me there. You know, these cases, they never get less ambiguous or easier. But this one, this was tough. Because protocol says entities like the Taken are monsters, threats. But the Marmonts were monsters way before the Shadow got to them. So at the end of the day, what's the difference?
End of chapter. Alright, that was the Lake House expansion for Alan Wake 2. A good, I think, 3 hours I spent. They always get these banger ass songs. I love it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So this story was before the events of Alan Wake 2. And now we know how Estevez found Wake and one of the brothers. She saw it. And we made it out with that one guy. Where was his wife though? Is she still in Bright Falls? But yeah, that was cool. More into... I just love this world, even though sometimes I don't understand it. Just more into this Alan Wake stuff and Control as well. We saw Jesse's brother, I forget his name. But we saw a glimpse of whatever the hell that was, which I'm assuming is something for Control 2. Which I can't absolutely wait for. And just whatever else Remedy does. Then Max Payne remakes. Oh, it's going to be so good. But the voice actor, I don't know how they're going to do that. It's going to be sad. But anyways, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Nothing much more I could really say. Just more of your weird Alan Wake stuff. It felt good being in that sort of environment again. Like the Control 2 offices and stuff like that. Again, as I mentioned, I love Control. And just that whole story. And just because I love weird stories. And it's just the concept and everything reminded me of like SCP. I don't know much of a SCP lore, but I understand what it is. And that seemed to be like what Control is, what Control was. And the more you get into the lore of like the oldest house, and just the stuff that they had, the altered items and everything, and how everything worked. I just loved it all. And Alan Wake 2, love that. Glad we got more expansions on it. I'm assuming this is the last DLC there's going to be for it, but can't wait for what's next. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, be cool, stay safe, have a good day, and see you in the next video. I don't know if there's a cutscene after this, we'll find out.
With my third eye open now, I choose to look back and see you've come so far. Yes, we had it all, and if nothing comes after, if the signal's lost along the way, we had a good run, gave birth to this universe. You can never come back here to this ledge to remember, to pretend it all ended here, to raise a toast on this sunken shore. And if there ever comes more, you can still choose to say your goodbyes. I'll dream of more at your will. I'm just a memory that has moved on, and no one can take that away from us. The journey that brought us here, the journey that made us who we are, the journey that brought us here, the journey that brought us here. Deep press, deep press. Clock stopped, and another shoe was dropped. What a mess, what a mess. Deep press. 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Sharp pain, sharp pain. There's something in the way. What next? Sharp pain. Deep press. 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Go, go. I gotta let go, go of everything that I've ever known. Deep press. Slow. Gotta take it slow, 'cause that's the fastest way that I know. Deep press. 6 deep breaths till the pain subsides. 6 deep breaths till I'm fine, fine. 6 deep breaths, swallow all my pride. And just like that, I've arrived. I feel like I'm floating on air. I'm finding roads everywhere. I feel like I'm floating on air. The nightmare can't have my dream. I feel like I'm floating on air. I'm finding roads everywhere. I feel like I'm floating on air. The nightmare can't have my dream. Cannot have my dream. Gaslight. Something isn't right. It might be best to fill the test. Deep press. 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Roadblock. Feels like my heart already stopped. Too much stress. Bones to reset. Deep press. 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Go. I gotta let go of everything that I've ever known. Deep press. Slow. Gotta take it slow, 'cause that's the fastest way that I know. Deep press. 6 deep breaths till the fear subsides. 6 deep breaths till I'm mine, I'm mine. 6 deep breaths, you can wait outside. And just like that,